MAKEBI ZULU'S shocking move. Buying NCP political party to reach State House? Could a political party be up for sale in Zambia? And is MAKEBI ZULU preparing one of the boldest political maneuvers in recent history? Reports suggest that MAKEBI is considering buying Peter Chanda's NCP party as part of his strategy to accelerate his journey to Plot 1. But why NCP? What does this mean for the Patriotic Front? And is this a genuine political calculation, or a sign of desperation? Stay tuned. The political chessboard is shifting, and the next move could change everything. Good day, viewers. Welcome to another edition of InspirAfrica Official. I'm Nakash. What a week it's been here in Southern Africa. Politics never sleep, and neither, it seems, do political ambitions. Today, we're diving into a story that has left Zambia stunned, divided, and asking some very uncomfortable questions. Imagine this. A former president lies unburied in a foreign morgue for 5 long months. His body, frozen in time, caught between legal battles and political theater. Now imagine the lawyer entrusted with bringing him home, the family spokesperson, the man who stood before cameras declaring dignity and honor, abandoning that sacred duty to launch his own presidential campaign. But here's where the plot thickens like a telenovela script. What if that same lawyer, the mortuary maestro, as he's now mockingly called, decided that his current political home wasn't rolling out the red carpet fast enough? What if he went shopping for a new party, not building one from scratch, but literally buying an existing one like a second-hand vehicle? What if he's eyeing Peter Chanda's new Congress Party, the very organization designated by the late President Lungu as the special purpose vehicle for opposition politics? Is this political strategy or calculated opportunism? Is this about serving the people or serving personal ambition? Can a man leave his mentor's body in a South African morgue while he campaigns for State House on that very mentor's legacy? And what does it say about Zambian politics that such a scenario isn't just possible? It's allegedly happening right now. Who is MAKEBI ZULU really fighting for? The late President Lungu's dignity, or his own desperate dash to Plot 1? The revelation came to light this week through investigative reporting by the Zambian Observer, sending shockwaves through political circles in Lusaka and beyond. MAKEBI ZULU, 48, is a lawyer and former Eastern Province Minister under the Patriotic Front government. He served as one of President Edgar Chagwa Lungu's most trusted legal advisors and was elected Member of Parliament for Malambo constituency in 2016 under the PF banner. When former President Lungu died on June 5, 2025, in a Pretoria hospital in South Africa, Zulu was immediately appointed family spokesperson. What followed was an unprecedented diplomatic and legal crisis. The Zambian government wanted a state funeral at Embassy Park, the official burial ground for former heads of state. The Lungu family, through Zulu, refused, claiming President Hichilema couldn't provide a dignified burial and citing specific instructions allegedly left by Lungu himself. The body remained in South Africa. Days turned to weeks. Weeks turned to months. On June 20, 2025, Zulu announced the family would bury Lungu privately in South Africa, making him potentially the first foreign head of state buried in that country. But on June 25, the Pretoria High Court halted the burial pending legal proceedings initiated by the Zambian government. As of mid-November 2025, the body remains frozen in a South African morgue. 5 months and counting. Meanwhile, back in Zambia, the political landscape was shifting. The Tans Alliance, a coalition of opposition parties formed in November 2024 to challenge the ruling UPND in 2026, began fracturing. The alliance had chosen Lungu as its chairman and presidential candidate. After his death, acting PF President Given Labinda took over the coalition's leadership. Peter Chanda's new Congress Party was the designated special purpose vehicle to carry the Tans flag in the 2026 elections. But by early October 2025, tensions erupted. Chanda accused Labinda and other PF figures of trying to hijack the NCP through backdoor tactics. On October 6th, Chanda pulled the NCP out of the Tans Alliance entirely, citing greed, ego, and betrayal of founding principles. Then came Chanda's bombshell announcement. He would run for president himself in 2026, declaring, "I have made the firm decision to stop escorting others into State House." This is where MAKEBI ZULU enters the picture. As a buyer, not a builder. In early November, Zulu launched his own campaign for the Patriotic Front presidency. He filed nomination papers on November 11th, appeared on multiple media platforms, and positioned himself as a candidate of law, governance, and moral order. But sources within the PF suggest resistance to his ambitions, particularly from rival factions supporting other candidates like Tassila Lungu, the late president's daughter. According to the latest reports published on November 16, 2025, insiders claim Zulu is now eyeing the NCP as a backup plan, allegedly willing to purchase the party outright and rebrand it as his vehicle to State House. The report suggests he's told associates he's raised $10 million from supporters of the late President Lungu scattered across South Africa and Zimbabwe. The NCP, now independent and restructuring, suddenly looks like prime real estate in Zambia's chaotic opposition landscape. Let's hear from the key players themselves, what they've said on record about this unfolding drama. MAKEBI Zulu, speaking on Hot FM's Hot Seat on November 12, 2025, after filing his PF nomination papers, laid out his vision. The issue of throwing stones at the president should not be tolerated anywhere. When you bottle people up, they have no other way of expressing themselves. We are dependent on the whims and caprices of men, and not the rule of law. When pressed about his decision to enter politics while President Lungu remains unburied, Zulu doubled down on his mission during an appearance on the Emmanuel Mwamba Verified show. Leadership must first heal and then build. It must restore faith in governance, protect citizens' rights, and open opportunity for every community. But on the subject of the burial, Zulu's statements have been defiant. Speaking on South Africa's Newsroom Africa in August 2025, the family is more concerned with what is going to give him a dignified burial. If the court is going to take longer, the family is willing to wait until he is given what is deemed a dignified burial, not a mockery. If it means keeping the body of President Lungu for 10 years, we will do so. Yet by early November, Zulu was back in Zambia, not with burial arrangements, but with campaign literature. Peter Chanda, NCP president, has been equally vocal. On October 31, 2025, he issued a formal statement announcing the NCP's complete withdrawal from the TANS alliance. The NCP wishes to inform the nation that the party withdrew from the TANS alliance several weeks ago and will not participate in any alliance activities going forward. Our departure was prompted by sustained interference, manipulation, and hypocrisy from certain PF-aligned individuals operating within the alliance structures. Chanda was particularly harsh about alleged attempts to sideline his party. Since our exit, I have observed with great concern that Mr. Given Lubinda and other TANS alliance members have been attempting to use backdoor tactics to hijack the NCP for their own political benefit as we approach the elections. These illegal attempts to impose themselves on a party they never built are unacceptable and must be condemned. Then came his presidential declaration. I have made the firm decision to stop escorting others into State House. I will now offer myself to the Zambian people as a presidential candidate. Speaking on Diamond TV in November, Chanda revealed the extent of the pressure he faced. On the night of Monday, I received a text message from Comrade Zamani Zimba telling me to go before them. You have 24 hours in which to appear before us, or 6 top leaders of NCP will take over leadership in the next 24 hours. Belonging to an alliance is not by force, it is by choice. When asked about the Lungu family's support for his decision to leave TANS, Chanda claimed validation. Former President Edgar Lungu's family commended my decision to leave the TANS alliance following wrangles in the grouping, because Lungu's legacy would have been ruined. Critics have been ruthless in their assessments. Civil society activist Laura Mitty issued one of the sharpest warnings about Zulu's character, writing on social media. The arrogance, callousness, and entitlement required to leave the body of someone you claim to love, in another country, whose burial you have prevented so that you can use as launchpad for something you crave, that is the kind of character to be feared. The question for me is, what can't such a man do, when it suits his personal interests? Methinks MAKEBI Zulu is a man to fear. Political analyst Sikale, aspiring independent MP for Katambala constituency, accused Zulu of exploitation. Today, MAKEBI Zulu has abandoned the body of Mr. Edgar Lungu in South Africa and returned to Zambia to campaign. The withdrawal of Malawi's former president from the mediation process in this impasse reveals a reality that many Zambians were unaware of. It is irresponsible and unethical to use the body of a deceased person to advance political interests. Even traditional chiefs from Eastern Province, Lungu's home region, have reportedly turned against Zulu, according to sources close to royal establishments. The chiefs are angered that MAKEBI Zulu appears more concerned about his presidential bid than ensuring that the late President Lungu is laid to rest with the honor he deserves. In our culture, showing respect to the dead comes before any personal ambitions. Online reactions have been equally brutal. When Zulu posted about his presidential ambitions on Facebook in early November, the comment section exploded with over 1,500 responses. UPND media consultant Oliver Shalala wrote, "Today marks 5 months since ECL died. Don't you think you should have used the day to update the nation on that issue and not posting about campaigns?" Another follower, identified as Nathan, wrote, "The way I pay attention to read, I thought you are telling us about the remaining body." The nickname Malukula the Mortuary Maestro has stuck, a mocking reference to his role in the prolonged burial saga. So what does all of this mean? Let's break down the multiple layers of this extraordinary political drama. The cultural dimension. In many African societies, particularly among the Ngoni people of eastern Zambia, the proper burial of the dead is sacred. It's not just a family matter, it's a community obligation, a cultural imperative. The fact that a former head of state has remained unburied for 5 months is unprecedented and, to many, unconscionable. Traditional leaders from Eastern Province say Zulu's decision to prioritize his presidential campaign over burial arrangements violates fundamental Ngoni customs. According to sources, chiefs have privately vowed not to support him until Lungu is properly laid to rest. This matters politically because Eastern Province was a PF stronghold. Without traditional and cultural legitimacy in that region, Zulu's presidential ambitions, whether in PF or through a purchased NCP, face serious obstacles. The political calculation. Why would Zulu allegedly consider buying the NCP instead of fighting for the PF presidency? First, the PF is fractured. Multiple factions are positioning themselves for power. Given Labinda's camp, the Tassala Lungu faction, supporters of former opposition leader Brian Mundable, and now Zulu himself. The party that once governed Zambia is tearing itself apart. Second, the NCP offers something valuable: electoral infrastructure. Under Peter Chanda's leadership, the NCP won a parliamentary seat in the Pataki Central by-election in February 2025, while operating as the Tans Alliance's special purpose vehicle. It has structures, recognition, and momentum, at least on paper. Third, owning a party outright eliminates internal competition. If Zulu can purchase the NCP and install loyal leadership, he controls the nomination process, party resources, and strategic direction without the messy internal democracy of the PF. But there's a problem. Peter Chanda has already declared his own presidential ambitions. He's not quietly stepping aside. Recent reports even suggested Chanda allegedly sold the NCP to the ruling UPND for 1 million kwacha. Claims Chanda hasn't publicly confirmed or denied, but which add to the confusion about the party's actual status and leadership. The financial questions. Where did Zulu allegedly raise $10 million? The reports claim supporters of the late President Lungu in South Africa and Zimbabwe contributed to this war chest. But several questions emerge. Are these supporters contributing to bury their political hero or to fund a presidential campaign? If they believe they're funding burial arrangements, do they know the money might be used for party acquisition? What happens to this money if Zulu's political ambitions fail? These are questions without clear answers, but they speak to a larger pattern of opacity in Zambian opposition politics. The ethical dilemma. Perhaps the most troubling aspect is the ethical question at the heart of this story. Can one claim to honor a mentor's legacy while leaving his body in a morgue for political expediency? Zulu has consistently framed the burial delay as a matter of dignity and principle, refusing to allow a government he views as hostile to preside over Lungu's funeral. But critics argue that 5 months is beyond any reasonable definition of waiting for the right conditions. They see calculation, not principle. Former Malawian President Bakili Maluzi, who attempted to mediate the burial dispute, withdrew from the process in frustration earlier this month. His statement was diplomatic, but the subtext was clear. This has become political theater, not genuine mourning. Reactions from political stakeholders. The Patriotic Front's response has been cautious. Acting President Given Labinda has avoided direct confrontation with Zulu but has warned against tribal mobilization within the party. PF Secretary General Raphael Nakasinda issued statements condemning any form of ethnic politics as Zulu and Tasala. Lungu allegedly consolidates support from Eastern and Muchinga provinces. The ruling UPND has largely stayed quiet, content to watch the opposition implode. President Hichilema's government has focused on the legal process in South Africa while preparing for 2026 elections. Civil society has been the most vocal. Activists like Laura Mitty have warned that Zulu's behavior sets dangerous precedents about the instrumentalization of grief and tradition for political gain. The broader systemic concern. This saga exposes deeper weaknesses in Zambia's political culture. Party ownership over democratic structures. The idea that one can buy a political party reveals how personal and transactional Zambian politics has become. Weak institutional frameworks. The absence of clear legal guidelines on burial disputes for former heads of state has allowed this crisis to fester. Opposition fragmentation. The Tance Alliance's collapse shows how difficult it is to maintain coalition politics in Zambia's winner-take-all system. The politicization of death. Lungu's body has become a political symbol rather than a person to mourn, a troubling development for any democracy. What happens next? Several scenarios are possible. Scenario 1. Zulu wins the PF presidency at the party's convention, making the alleged NCP purchase plan unnecessary. He then uses the PF's established structures to contest 2026 as the main opposition candidate. Scenario 2. Zulu loses the PF nomination to a rival faction, possibly Tasala Lungu. He then activates his backup plan, negotiating to take over the NCP from Peter Chanda, either through outright purchase or a merger arrangement. Scenario 3. Peter Chanda refuses to sell or merge, maintaining the NCP as his own presidential vehicle. Zulu is left without a viable party and becomes a political outsider. Scenario 4. The burial impasse resolves, either through court order or family decision, removing Zulu's primary political liability. But by then, the damage to his reputation may be irreversible. Each scenario has profound implications for Zambia's political landscape heading into 2026. Thank you so much for watching today's edition of InspirAfrica Official. This has been a difficult story to cover, one that touches on culture, ethics, politics, and power in ways that make all of us uncomfortable. The question at the center of this story isn't just about MAKEBI Zulu or Peter Chanda or even the late President Lungu. It's about what kind of political culture Zambia wants to build going forward. Is politics purely transactional? Can parties be bought and sold like commodities? Should personal ambition trump cultural obligations and common decency? These are questions only you, the Zambian people, can answer through your voices, your votes, and your values. I want to hear from you in the comments below. Do you think MAKEBI Zulu should focus on burying President Lungu before pursuing political office? Is the alleged plan to purchase the NCP legitimate political strategy or opportunistic maneuvering? What does this saga tell us about the state of Zambian opposition politics? And where do you think Peter Chanda and the NCP will be in this equation come 2026? Share your thoughts, agree or disagree, but let's keep the conversation respectful and focused on the issues. We'll be following this story closely as it develops. There are still too many unanswered questions, too many moving parts, and frankly, too much at stake for Zambia's democratic future. Until tomorrow, this is Nakash signing off from InspirAfrica Official. Stay informed, stay engaged, and stay inspired.